take a look at using slicers in Excel 2013, and let's look at both standard and timeline slicers. What the slicers are going to allow us to do is filter our data, but we're going to be able to do it in an easier, friendlier manner. We're going to be able to see what we're doing, and we're going to be able to quickly change things around if we want to. So first, we're going to pull up our sample data. We're going to click somewhere in the data, go to Insert, a Pivot Table. Click OK for our table or range. We're going to go over to the right where it says Pivot Table Fields, and we're going to decide what we want to look at. In this example, we're going to look at region and market, and we're also going to look at the product category and the sale amount. Just so that we can look at the information in a little different manner, we're going to go down at the bottom. We're going to move product category over to the columns. Then we're going to start filtering. We're going to start slicing. We're going to click in our table. We're going to go up to Insert, Slicer, and you're going to get a box that's going to show the the fields that you're going to be able to look at. For this example, let's look at region and market. We're going to filter by those two. Your boxes are going to come up for both region and market, and now you can start filtering. If you want to filter by region, let's say we want to look at the Midwest. It's going to show us the markets in the Midwest and the business that they're doing. So we've got Chicago, Kansas City, Omaha, and Tulsa in the Midwest region. We can look at other regions, and it'll do the same, show us the markets in those areas. Or we can look at a whole area rather than a single region. So let's say we want to look at the whole southern area. We're in the South right now. We're going to hold down the Control key and click on Southeast and Southwest, and you can see that it now shows us all of those southern areas. In order to remove the filter, we're going to go up to the top right corner. We're going to click on Clear Filter. Now, if we want to look at the market, but we don't want to look at every market in a region, we want to look at individual markets, we can go over to the Market filter, and we can click on California, for instance. It's going to still show us that it's in that western region, but it's only going to show us California. Then we can do the same thing here that we did in region. Use the Control key and click some other areas. Say we want to look at all of the C's. We can now look at Chicago, Charlotte, and California. Show us the business in those areas. Let's go ahead and clear that filter by clicking on Clear Filter. And now let's remove market. If you right click, you can remove market. You can remove those slicers. Right click again, remove region. Now let's take a look at the timeline slicer. The difference in the timeline slicer is just that it's only going to be for dates. So you'll see when we click on timeline under the Insert tab, the items that we can look at are either order date or ship date. So let's look at ship date. Click on ship date, click on OK, and our filter comes up, and it's going to give us a range of dates that we can take a look at. Let's start by looking at January of 2009. Look at January of 2009, and we can see what shipped where on those dates. We can also hold down the mouse key and look at a range. If we go over or back, we can look at a period of time. We can also go up to the drop-down box next to months. Let's remove the filter that we have right now. Clear filter in the right-hand corner. Then instead of months, let's look at quarters. We'll just click on quarters, the drop-down menu. Let's look at the first quarter of 2009. Or again, we can use the mouse and we can look at the fourth quarter of 2008 along with the first quarter of 2009. With the drop-down menu, you can also look at the years and the days as well. So if you want to look at the first week of October 2008, you can do that. So we can remove that filter, and we can remove that slicer, right-clicking, remove timeline. So that's the slicers, both standard and timeline, and it lets us filter things in an easy, user-friendly manner.